What happens when the galaxy's fiercest warriors meet the one species that turns fear into a weapon? This is the battle that changed everything, and the day a war-bred soldier learned what humans truly are. Zirin had never known fear. His species, the Creel, were born for war, armor-plated bodies, sharpened reflexes, and the unwavering belief that victory was their birthright. Fear was something weaker beings felt. Something prey felt. That was before the humans arrived. The war on Aros Prime had dragged on for months. The Creel, allied with the Galactic Council, held their trenches against the Viker Dominion. Plasma storms split the sky, artillery tremors shook the earth. Zirin thought he had witnessed every horror of war. Then the humans deployed that at first glance. They were unimpressive, soft-skinned, small, fragile. No armor plating, no claws, no biological weapons. Worse, they carried primitive gear, projectile rifles, metal slug pistols, explosives that looked ancient compared to plasma-grade weaponry. Zirin assumed they would break within hours. That he was wrong. At dawn, the Viker offensive struck like a tidal wave, war beasts trampling across the plains, shield generators glowing like miniature suns. Plasma melted the frontline trenches. The Creel fired in disciplined volleys, but the enemy kept advancing. Hold the line. Zirin roared, and then, the humans charged. Instead of sheltering behind cover, Captain Morgan sprinted into the firestorm like she was born inside it. Her soldiers followed, their rifles cracking like thunder. Zirin watched in disbelief as their tiny metal slugs punched straight through Viker's shield matrices, shields designed to disperse energy, not kinetic fury. Armor shattered. War beasts fell screaming, but it wasn't just the weapons. It was the way humans fought. They didn't advance like soldiers, they charged like predators. When plasma scorched the ground near them, they laughed. When artillery exploded overhead, they roared back. They danced through smoke and fire, turning chaos into a weapon. Zirin had been taught courage meant the absence of fear. Humans showed him the opposite. Hours later, Zirin found himself trapped in a shattered bunker next to 2 human marines. Plasma fire echoed in every direction. His rifle was drained out of ammo. One marine asked. Spent, Zirin growled. We wait for resupply. The marine tossed him a small metal object. Use this. A human pistol. Pathetic, Zirin thought. Moments later, Viker shock troopers, towering, armored monsters, stormed through the smoke. Zirin pulled the trigger. The shot cracked like thunder. The slug punched through the trooper's eye socket, killing him instantly. Zirin froze. The humans didn't. They surged forward, knives flashing, rifles roaring. Captain Morgan herself took down a Viker brute in close combat, stabbing relentlessly even as plasma scorched her armor. She should have retreated. Instead, she advanced with a feral snarl. For the first time in his life, Zirin felt his claws tremble, not at the enemy, but at the humans fighting beside him. By nightfall, the Viker retreated. The humans stood bloody, battered, but unbroken. Around the campfires, Creel soldiers whispered in awe. Zirin stared at the pistol still in his claws. Captain Morgan approached, removing her cracked helmet. Soot and blood smeared her face, but her eyes burned like fire. You fought well, she said. Zirin rumbled. You fight like beings without fear. Morgan gave a cold, tired smile. We're terrified, Zirin. Every single time. But fear sharpens us. Fear reminds us what we're fighting for. That's why we run toward it. Her words hit harder than any plasma blast. The Creel never understood fear. They dismissed it as weakness. Humans weaponized it. That night, Zirin learned the truth. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's fighting with it, and making your enemy feel it more than you do. Years later, veterans spoke of Aros Prime as a turning point. The Creel learned respect, the Council learned caution, the Viker learned terror, but Zirin, he carried the memory forever, because he had fought beside humans. And he had finally learned what fear truly was.